Hey, have you ever just sat there thinking to yourself, why is money always a struggle? I mean, you work hard, but somehow your paycheck, it disappears every single week before you can even think to breathe. Just so you know, you're not the only one. Upwards of 83% of Americans said that they are financially stressed or simply just not doing well at all. And that's not just a real stat. That's real everyday people. People that are feeling stuck and overwhelmed. They're unsure of what to do next or where to turn to. And it's so easy to think about spending like celebrities today that celebrate their birthday with $1 million birthday party, $1 million birthday budget, and millions of dollars in private jets. But for most people, that's not really realistic at all. For most people, building long-term wealth looks more like Warren Buffett style, who's still living in the same house that he bought in 1958 and avoiding debt. Because while some flaunt their wealth, some are quietly building wealth, and you get to choose. And have you ever thought about which one that you want to be? And whether this is your very first step towards actually getting control of your money, or maybe this is the 100th step and you've tried so many different things, nothing seems to work. I want you to know that you're in the right place. We talk personal finances on this channel, and today I want to share with you 6 practical strategies that I've used, strategies that I've seen clients use to actually change lives. And they don't require a finance degree or a 6-figure income. They only require a willingness to lean in and take it one more step at a time. So this is going to be Financial Education 101, but honestly, it might be the most valuable 15 minutes that you invest in yourself in this entire next year. And if you want to keep growing with your money, sign up for the 1-Minute Money newsletter. The link's right below. It's a quick weekly tip to help you stay on track and win with your money. All right, let's start first with mindset, because most of us were never really taught how to really think about money. We've absorbed beliefs growing up. Some were helpful, some maybe more harmful. For me, money was something that I held on to and almost just too tight. To the point when I got married, my family said that I need to spend more on a diamond ring than you would get out of a cereal box, right? Of course I'm gonna do that. But my mindset was money is fear-based. I held on to it at all costs. And my family didn't think I was gonna spend any money. And the truth is I had gotten better. I had kind of gotten through some of those past beliefs. And that's what you need to do too, is examine the beliefs that you have, and then we need to fight through those. So my question to you is what's your thought around money? When's the first time that money made you feel anxious? That memory, whether you realize it or not, is probably still shaping some of the beliefs and the choices that you make today. And an action item that I would love for you to take away from this is to actually grab a journal. Grab something that you can write down this question: what is one belief that I carry about money today that's holding me back? Maybe it's just, I'm bad with money, or I'll never get ahead. Then I want you to flip that. Something like, I'm learning to handle money with confidence. It might sound really small, it might even sound stupid, but this awareness is super powerful. According to the American Psychological Association, over 60% of people say that their money is the #1 source of their stress. But here's some good news. Studies also show that people with a high degree of financial literacy, they often make significantly long-term better decisions, especially when it comes to something like investing. So you can rewire your brain. You can rewire this, and it starts right now. Let me ask you something. If I handed you $1 million today and told you to manage it over the next year, would you do it? Of course you would. Most people would say yes to that in a heartbeat. But here's my twist. You are already in charge of managing hundreds of thousands, if not millions, potentially over the course of your lifetime. The only difference is that it's trickling in through paychecks instead of one lump sum. You see, the average single person in the United States, they make just over $60,000 a year. So in 20 years, that's $1.2 million that will have hit your bank account, whether you like it or not, whether you realize it or not, whether you still have it, any of it or not, to anything to show from. You know, if you factor in taxes, maybe it's a little bit under $1 million, but it's a lot of money. And if you wouldn't leave $1 million unmanaged, that I would give you, or anybody else for that matter would give you, why would you do it with your own income today? So that's where budgeting comes in. Not the dry spreadsheet only version that makes you feel just boxed in, but the kind that actually allows you to experience freedom, to have freedom in the decisions that you make around your finances. And one of the most simple and practical tools that I've seen is called the 50-30-20 rule. So once you're out of debt, this is a fantastic rule that you can use as a framework. So how it works is 50% of your pay goes to needs. These needs are housing, your groceries, insurance. The 30% is going to go towards wants, like dining out, travel, and anything else beyond that, and anything else that just adds joy to your life. The final 20%, that's going to be your power zone. That's either going to be saving or it's going to be investing. But let's pause here, because if you are in debt right now, which a lot of people are, and especially consumer debt, we're not talking necessarily your house, but this 20% isn't quite in your power zone yet. It's more of your rescue zone. And I'm talking about car loans. I'm talking about credit cards, student loans, buy now, pay later loans, family IOUs, all of it. You're gonna wanna just kill that stuff, because it's not just about the money. It's about reclaiming your peace, and the debt that just weighs on you. I want you to be able to reclaim that peace. So before you dive into a budget like the 50-30-20, I do recommend building a starter emergency fund, even just $1,000 to begin with. But after that, I want you to start just attacking your debt like your future absolutely depends on it, because in a very real way, it does. 100 years ago, the average person did not carry 5 forms of debt as they do today. Debt has become so normalized that so many people, they're gonna live their entire adult lives living with debt. And we wonder why anxiety and burnout are absolutely through the roof. Is there a direct connection? I don't know, maybe not. But here's what I know to be true is that debt steals from your freedom. And for me, it clutters my mind and it weighs on your heart. And again, getting rid of debt isn't just financial. For many people, it's emotional. And for a lot of people, it can be deeply spiritual too. But once you're out of debt, that's when the 50-30-20 rule really becomes a tool that you can use to help you grow through budgeting. So if you make $3,000 a month, what this looks like is $1,500 of that, half of it goes towards needs. $900 of it, 30%, is going to go towards your wants, things that make you happy, and $600 of that is going to be for building wealth. But again, until you're debt free, you're going to do everything that you can just to scrap at the debt and fight to get debt free. It's worth it, I promise. And when it comes to budgeting, it doesn't matter if you use a notepad or a Google Sheet or an app like YNAB or EveryDollar. What matters is just that you do it. What matters is the consistency month in and month out. And there are studies out there that show that people who budget are like 25% more likely to achieve major financial milestones like buying a house or even early retirement if that's for you. So if you wouldn't hesitate to managing somebody else's $1 million, don't shy away from managing your own. Without a budget, your money is going to control you. But with one, it's more of an opportunity that you have to take back your life. Now, let's talk investing. I already spent a whole bunch of time in the last video talking about investing, so I'm not going to go near as deep. But I want you to think of investing like planting a tree. You don't dig it up every time that the weather changes or a storm rolls through. You plant the seed, you water it, and you do it consistently, and you just give that time to grow. Eventually, it's going to have deep roots, it's going to have strong branches, and over time, that tree is going to be able to stand tall and sturdy, and even when the wind comes and blows, your tree's not going to go over because it's had time to grow. Well, investing works that same way. You just stay consistent, you avoid panicking when the market dips, and you give your money the time that it needs to grow. Still, investing is probably one of the most intimidating thing for beginners, and honestly, it's totally fair. I know for starters, it feels like a different language for many, but the truth is that investing doesn't have to be as complicated as many people have made it out to be. And you don't need to be a Wall Street expert in order to get started. Many people begin just by using platforms that, in a way, they automate the process. So whether it's a traditional firm like Vanguard or Charles Schwab or Fidelity, or even a robo-advisor that handles the rebalancing and the diversification and the asset allocation, the goal here is the same, that you're putting your money to work. That's what investing is all about. The key is not chasing the hottest stock or waiting for the perfect time. It's about consistency. And it's important to know this, that you do not have to invest a huge amount right away either. What matters is just that you start and that you're gonna stick with it. Through this entire financial education process, it's not about perfection, it's about persistence. Now we gotta talk about something that does not get enough attention in financial education, and that is protecting yourself from scams. And with technology rapidly advancing, you're thinking like deep fakes, cloned voices, fake customer service calls. It's easier than ever for fraudsters, people who are trying to trick you, to do so. And in 2024 alone, Americans lost $12.5 billion. That's billion with a B to fraud. And I remember getting a text one time that said my bank account is frozen and it looked completely legitimate. But when I called the bank by their official number, they confirmed that, yeah, it was a scam. And that experience taught me two really important lessons. One is to always verify the source of where it's coming from before you do anything, is verify the source. And two, never share any personal information, especially if you're not expecting their call or their text, no matter how convincing that they might be. See, what many people don't realize until it's too late is scammers today are impersonating people even that you know, love, and trust, like family members or friends or even a boss. I've heard of all three of them, and they're using cloned voices. They're using deepfake videos to pressure you into sending money or revealing some kind of sensitive information that's going to make you want to send money. Don't do it. Like, verify the source. Give them a call by the number that you have in your phone, not just the number that they're calling you from. Imagine getting a call that sounds exactly like your adult child and they're urgently asking you for financial help with some kind of an emergency, only to later find out that it was a complete scam. And it was a scammer who on the other end was just manipulating you. This kind of scam can devastate your finances overnight. They can wipe out any savings or cash that you have, or they can cause you to go into debt. And that's just gonna leave you scrambling to recover. To protect your financial well-being, it is critical to take these practical steps and just always verify by calling the official numbers or logging in directly to a website. If you get a link that looks like it might be a little bit fishy, log into the real website rather than just trusting links in an email or a text. Do your homework and actually go to the website itself. Don't rely inside the message. And you can always use strong and unique passwords. I see every single day people using simple to guess passwords, or use a two-step authentication to secure the accounts that you do have. And just be super cautious about sharing any personal information with people unless that you initiated that contact and it's somebody that you can trust. And make sure absolutely sure that you know who you're talking to. Also, keeping your software up to date and devices up to date, that also helps to protect against security vulnerabilities that scammers are using to kind of take advantage of you. But protecting your finances, again, is ultimately, it's all about wise stewardship, and just staying alert and staying vigilant helps to safeguard what God's ultimately entrusted to you. All right, next thing we're gonna look at, we're gonna lighten it up a little bit, is actually something a little more fun. It's gamifying your savings. So there's no apps required, and you can still turn saving money into a game, or investing money into a game, using nothing but your own creativity. So I want you to try something like this. Every time that you skip a want, whether it's that latte or the coffee that you always go out for, maybe it's takeout or an impulse buy from Amazon, I want you to write it down and what you've skipped, how much it was, and move that into a separate savings account. Call it your freedom fund. Call it whatever you want, something that's gonna motivate you to see that, okay, I missed out or I skipped out on this. It's not even necessarily missing out as much as it is I prioritize my future. And because of that, in my freedom fund, I have this money. Or tape a chart to your refrigerator and color in a square every single time that you save 10 bucks. Or challenge a friend to see who can save $500 first over the next 3 months. It's under $6 a day. And have the winner buy something like coffee, or maybe even just get bragging rights. Whatever it is, involving your friends is a great way in order to make progress and have fun while doing so. I did a version of this with my friends, and by the end, not only were we making financial progress, but we were having fun just by keeping score and tracking what we were saving. I want you to know that progress doesn't have to be boring. So when you turn savings into kind of a game, you then shift from, oh, I have to do this, to let's see what I can pull off. And you know that you have competition. Maybe it's a friendly competition, but it'll help you to hit these milestones that you have in your life, these goals. And when you do hit these milestones, these goals, celebrate it, because motivation, it builds when you feel like you're actually making progress, not just sacrificing. And then the last strategy we're gonna look at today, and this is huge, building multiple income streams. There are some reports put out by Pew Research that say 1/3 of Americans now have some sort of a side hustle. And it's not just a trend, it's a survival skill as well. And it doesn't necessarily mean grinding out 80 hours every single week. At first, you gotta think small. Maybe, are you good at graphic design? Maybe you could offer templates up on Etsy. Or if you're good at spreadsheets, same thing. Or if you like dogs, Pet Rover, I've heard, is a great way to make an extra $200 to even $500 a month just by walking other people's dogs. Just find one thing that you already enjoy or one thing that you're good at and just do more of it. Figure out a way to, how can I monetize this and actually make some money? Personally, I started by sharing what I was learning about money, first through conversations with friends and then family, and then I moved that into coaching. And then I did workshops, and now I do content as well. And it doesn't necessarily lead to income overnight, but over time, you're just growing that foundation, and it has an opportunity to grow into something a little bit more steady, something that you love doing, something that you can make money around. And now my financial coaching business helps not only to get other people clarity, it also helps for me to support my family. So the goal here isn't to hustle endlessly. It's, again, to build that foundation where your income isn't just tied to the paycheck that you get from your job, but now you've got multiple different sources that it's like a three-legged stool or a four-legged stool. If one falls, you're going to be okay. If you're on a one-legged stool, you're probably going to fall and it's probably going to hurt. Just give yourself a backup that gives you options when your income is throwing a curveball, because you will have curveballs, I promise you. All right, now we covered a lot today, from mindset to budgeting, investing, scam protection, how you can gamify your savings, and extra income. So this was kind of a full crash course in real financial education. Again, maybe it's just for you getting started, or maybe it's just a good reminder to hear this stuff, but it's all stuff that you can start right now. So one thing that I want you to do, I want you to pick one of these 6 strategies today, and I want you to act on it. And start acting by commenting which step are you going to focus on today. Maybe it's just journaling about your money beliefs, or maybe it's downloading a budgeting app and getting started there. Maybe it's trying a different savings challenge. If you do, let me know what works, because I love learning new ways. But whatever it is, just take that first step. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, again, sign up for the 1-Minute Money newsletter. It's just a weekly newsletter where you're going to get helpful, actionable tips that you can then take with you. But if this video helped, drop a subscribe. Let me know in the comments. I read everyone, respond to everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.